So if you guys remember when we did the stereo on this truck, the this ginormous Atato screen, in which this thing has been amazing. Give you guys kind of a quick review. I know a lot of times I install products like this and I don't really touch back on them. This thing has literally been the centerpiece of this damn truck. What can I say? Whenever we're out, we use it for Netflix and YouTube. And the only downside to it right now is the fact that I run it off of my phone's hotspot. I do need to get a dedicated SIM card and just pay for service on this thing. I'm sure it would be 1,000 times better, because that's it. That's the only downside. I come out and I go to play my music, I have to like connect it and stuff. That's kind of annoying, but aside from that, dude, this thing works flawlessly. But anyhow, whenever we did install this stereo, it required me to run quite a few wires. So we have the speaker up here for wireless calls and stuff, and for voice activation for this thing. Whenever you're like searching for an address, you can literally just press the talk thing like you would on your phone, and then just voice to text the address up here, and it types it in. That works great. Anyhow, I had to run wiring for that. We have a forward facing camera. There is a GPS antenna. All this stuff had wiring that had to be ran up here. And then of course there's also a camera, a reverse camera all the way in the back. And it was just easier to kind of tear the interior apart, if I'm being honest with you. And because of the fact that I don't have my factory seats in here anymore, I've been wanting to color match the rest of the truck to the new seat color. So I tore all these plastics and everything out, and I had left them out because the headliner was also kind of junk, dude. Like, it was falling down in a lot of places. I need to redo these guys as well, because they're all stained up. I could probably get that out, but the interior of this truck still needs a lot of work, man. But anyhow, my point right now is the fact that I have all the plastics out of this thing, and I do have my paint already matched to my seat color. So that's what I want to do today. I do need to grab this off and this off the truck really quick. All right, so first thing I need to do before anything is I have to clean all of this, and more than just simply like spray it off. Like, I have to actually scrub every single little bit of this, because the idea is to get as much of the dirt or oils or anything out of this as possible. So even if it looks clean, it still needs to be like just aggressively scrubbed. Of course, I'm gonna go ahead and hit all this with some super clean right now while it's dry, and before I even get it wet, because I don't want this stuff to be diluted at all. If you use super clean directly on, especially these plastics, dude, you'll see so much dirt come out of this stuff. It's crazy. And it makes it all like a lighter color. I mean, I know it doesn't matter right now because we're getting ready to paint it, but it's definitely gonna help to get all the crap out of it, you know, because all the oils and stuff is just like embedded in the plastic. The only thing with using something like super clean is you want to make damn sure to get it all cleaned off before paint, because you don't want residue from this left over when you're painting, of course. Alright, this stuff is all saturated with our super clean. Now I have some warm water from in the house, and this is just dish soap and warm water, and I'm just gonna literally scrub the absolute hell out of this shit. Alright, got all this stuff cleaned. First thing I need to do is go over everything and get it all dry. Alright, got this stuff all dry. These pieces here, I'm going to set them out in the sun with this facing up, because the sound deadening or whatever you want to call this stuff, it's all wet. I'm gonna let this stuff dry in the sun while we start working on the rest of that. Alright, now what I'm gonna do is go ahead and skim over all of this with a sanding pad. This is 220 grit. Now I'm not leaving, this is not leaving deep scratches or anything in it. It's just kind of scuffing the surface. You will notice that the shine of the plastic kind of goes away. I'm not trying to smoothen this out. I'm not trying to lose the texture. I'm just simply trying to give it a little bit of a scuff for our paint to actually have a mechanical bond to it. Now we are going to have to use a special primer, which I'll show you guys here as soon as I get all this stuff sanded. See, look at this piece, man. This piece I have not sanded at all. The only thing I've done is just cleaned it. Do you see how sun-beaten that is? How faded? It's like kind of turning white. This is the pillar that is right next to the dash that goes right next to the windshield, basically. The sun hits this constantly, and that's the reason why it's all faded and ugly like this. So a lot of this interior stuff really needs to be redone. All right, got everything sanded, and some stuff, like, well, honestly, just these two pieces are going to be easy to hang because there's bolt holes, you know. I'm not worried about overspray getting all over this black section because that's going to be behind the panel. So some of these other pieces aren't going to be quite as simple. If I'm capable of just laying them flat on a table, like this piece, then I will. This piece, maybe. I don't know, man. It's just the problem is I need that edge painted also. So it's hard to really set anything down, especially like a piece like this. You see, it wraps all the way around. You can't just simply set that down. So I'm going to have to hang these things. And my idea here is I'm going to go ahead and drill some holes in it in some areas where the panels overlap, like right here. I could drill a hole probably on both sides on these pieces so that it'll hang and be sturdy. I need my paint to wrap all the way around the edge on these also. So basically I'm going to need to get to both sides. I can't just simply lay it flat on a table. So I'm going to go ahead and get all this hung up. This is probably going to be a little bit of a time consuming process. I'll catch up with you guys when I'm ready to start spraying some primer. Alright, everything is hung up, man. I'm turning my fan off so you guys can hear me a little better. Everything's hung up. I kind of went over them, blew all the dust off. I feel like I have a spider crawling on me. Is there a spider on me? Anyhow, I mentioned a specific primer. It's not necessarily a primer, but it's an undercoat. It's adhesion promoter. You're absolutely going to have to use adhesion promoter on all this stuff if you want paint to stick to it. So that's what I'm going to do is go over all this stuff with adhesion promoter. I just have a rattle can of it. You can get this stuff to where you spray it out of your gun. For something like this, I don't normally paint this much plastic, you know. Normally it's maybe a bumper or whatever, in which a spray can works great. But whenever you have this much stuff with all the different angles and everything, it'd be a lot better to use a spray gun. But this is all I have right now. My only option would be to like stab the can and dump this stuff into my cup, but I'm not going to do that. Anyhow, get this knocked out really fast. This stuff smells really bad, so mask up. Alright, this stuff dries really fast, but I'm still going to let it sit for a little while. And I'm going to come through and do a light scuff over it because I like to scuff my adhesion promoter. A lot of people don't. I have had issues in the past where my paint has reacted for whatever reason. And whenever I scuff the adhesion promoter, I don't ever have that problem. So anyhow, whenever you apply this stuff, you apply it really thin. It doesn't go on heavy. So this is just like you're putting a layer on it, you know, like just a small skim coat, if you will. This isn't like something it's not thick. It's not going to fill anything in. It's not a filler primer by any means. So whenever you put this on, you're just kind of misting it. You don't want to put it on real heavy. If you do that, that's definitely when it'll have like a reaction, fish eye. But anyhow, I'm gonna let that sit for long enough for us to come out here and move this Camaro because I'm tired of it just kind of sitting here in the yard and it's getting really filthy. Birds keep pooping on it and etc, etc. I want to get it up there on the back porch and start working on getting it cleaned up. I'd like to start assembling this thing here soon. I still only have one door that I need to clear coat. And of course, I have a couple of things that I need to touch up and respray. Unfortunately, they've gotten damaged out here in the yard. But yeah, I would like to start, I'd like to start getting that car done. So step one is to get it up on the porch. And then we can start getting it cleaned up. All right, Camaro is on the porch now, so we can start getting that thing cleaned up. Probably not gonna do it in this video. I just wanted to establish getting it up there. I went through and I got all of this stuff sanded. Everything has been sanded. I already blew all the dust off of all of it. So this stuff is ready to spray. I'm mixing my paint up right now. And yep, that's the color right there, buddy. I noticed it definitely looks a lot more just brown in here, but believe me, it'll all come together. When it's all said and done, you guys will see. It's gonna look really nice. Anyhow, I got the paint mixed up. I used a little bit more reducer than normal. This paint is a satin finish, so it's not gonna be a glossy finish. It's not supposed to, but you can make it kind of a glossy finish if you put it on really thick and heavy, and you use like a fast dryer. Like if I was to put accelerator in this and make it dry really fast, the faster it dries for whatever reason, it makes it shiny. That's been my experience with this paint. And just like most paints, if you thin it out a lot more than what it's actually supposed to be, so this is a 3-to-1 mix, and this actually has a hardener in it. So that's the reason why this paint is really strong. This is the same type of paint that I painted khaki with and creamy. What else? I think that's it. Anyhow, it's 3 parts paint, 1 part hardener or catalyst, and then 1 part reducer. But I actually put like 2 parts reducer in there, thinned it out a lot. So what I'm gonna do is kind of mist this on. From my experience, that helps it really satin out whenever you do thinner coats. So my first coat on all this stuff is going to be really transparent. Like you're still going to be able to basically see that color underneath it. So it took a total of 3 coats to get this covered nice and even. The first 2 was just kind of, like I mentioned, real thin coats. And the very last one, I even added just a touch more reducer and then put a nice wet coat on there. This is going to dry. If you look at the sheen it has right now, it still is a little bit on the shiny side, but you can definitely tell that it's not high gloss, you know what I mean? It will dry a little bit duller than that even. Have kind of the leather look. Basically what the interior, like the sheen of it is from factory. You don't want your interior plastics to be too terribly shiny. It gives it a spray painted look. I don't know, for lack of a better term. It makes it look kind of tacky to me, I guess. Though then again, if you're one of those people who like to, you know, use like tire shine on your interior and on your dash and everything, maybe you want all your plastic shiny. Who knows? But I personally don't. I want them to dull out, in which they will. Like you can see in this one, do you see like the blotchiness in it? So I sprayed it on even, but that's it drying. And that's the reason why it looks all splotchy like that and inconsistent. It's because through its drying pace, it tends to do that. That's driven me nuts over the years working in the sign shop, in the sign industry, using satin paint similar to this. As it dries, it looks so inconsistent. It's had me so many times going back and doing another wet coat, you know, but you got to give it time, man. You got to give it time. Let it dry and it's going to look amazing. Anyhow, this most certainly is not all of the interior, but this is the sections that I have torn out of the truck right now. I need to do all the door panels. Hell, eventually I need to actually pull the entire dash because I'm gonna have to paint the dash too. So don't worry, man, the paint will last. It will hold up. A lot of this stuff, the plastic itself is actually dyed the color that it is, but some of the things like the dash, for instance, I don't know if you guys, like my dash has some spots where it's peeling and you can see it's like a different color underneath, like black. If you guys have a GMT 800, you probably know exactly what it is I'm talking about, where areas like peel up. That actually is paint, bro. So they do paint this stuff from factory. So as long as you go through the proper steps, it will stick and it will last for a very long time. But anyhow, guys, I got my gun cleaned. I'm pretty much done for the day. I gotta let this stuff dry. I'm probably gonna go out here and start cleaning up on this Camaro. I'm not gonna record that. Sorry, I know I can't make everybody happy. Some people want to see the car washing stuff, and some people complain about it and say it's all I ever do. But I hope you enjoyed this one. Another quick, short video. This is something I've been needing to get done. Peace, and I'll see you on the next one. Later.